in the physical market. The next thing I will be looking into the recent margin increase on the COMEX and how it's impacting the price. And the last story, it's a story about China restricting the exports of the refined silver.
And we're always busy, but yesterday was a whole nother level. Yesterday was borderline panic buying. I tried to source some Buffalo rounds, and I said to Adrian, this one company, Adrian, wants $89.90 for a generic Buffalo round. That was dealer wholesale price, $89.90.
Adrian, this is it.
That's it, man. Funny enough, it's the Engelhard.
It's the Engelhard. One last ounce of silver, and you know what I want to do?
Yeah.
I want to buy it.
Sold out. Well, usually I watch this channel often, and they are not going to be hyping when this shop, they receive lots of sellers that come to the shop. They will be honest and they will say, oh, we see lots of people selling. So if they are saying that they've been sold down and it's a record day since he's been working in the shop, it's something unusual that is going on. So is the bullion. Well, I usually I was using the 100 tier price before, so I will be using the 20 ounces. So it's 78.26 for SD bullion. Up next, they have secondary rounds, $80.47, which is more than $2 higher. Now in Canada, my favorite one, it's silver gold bull, $105.24 Canadian. TD Bank is coming next. Well, coming next. They have something interesting right now. $103.83 per maple. Some bars here, 1 ounce bars, 10 ounce bars. So interesting prices. And what I got here in China, it's $80 per ounce. Well, it's all unconfirmed because I didn't push Australia. It's 81.35 cents. My prompt was if I would be buying 100 ounces in 1 ounce products. Dubai, you could buy, if I would be buying 10 ounce bars, I could get them at $76.20. But the lows, it's still Canada with the TBD Bank.
And so here is the letter, and if we jump down to page 4, we've got the 5,000 ounce silver futures contract, and there is the current maintenance, and this is what is now required. So anybody that has a contract has to come up with an extra $7,500, and if they've got a lot of contracts, that can add up to some serious cash, and that means that they may have to sell some of their position to come up with that cash, and if they sell some of their position, the price of silver goes down, which means that more people run into maintenance requirements, and it becomes difficult. So I am expecting that when the markets open, silver is going to fall. But to me, that's a buying opportunity. Now, I don't give any financial advice.
Okay, so I'm not 100% sharing this statement of Mike Maloney that when the markets open, the silver price is going to fall, which is maybe true, but for disclosure, I'm actually holding positions in the physical position, of course, and I'm also holding a paper position in physical in silver, and I'm holding the silver miners. So today evening is going to be starting trading, but since it's a third increase of the margin, it's a third hike actually, and it was one on the December 16, one on December 29, and the last one was on December 31st. So I'm kind of see like a diminishing effects of that, because if you kind of going long on the COMEX and you had already 2 margin hikes increases, you will be most likely not be that stupid and not leverage to the maximum. So originally it was 20,000 and it went for 20,000 per contract to 22,000. Then on December 16, on December 25 it went to the second hike, 22,000 to 25,000, and the last hike it went for 25,000 to 32,500, as Mike Maloney shows in his video. So the China actually refining 350 to 400 million ounces of silver. So it's, if you exclude actually the recycling, it's China refines the half of the silver ore into final products. So it's very, very significant. So let's take a listen first.
Not symbolic posturing.
The government has set clear thresholds that disqualify the majority of refiners, has imposed approval requirements that delay and obstruct the minority of refiners who do qualify, and has communicated to the entire industry that domestic demand takes priority and that compliance is mandatory. And now we need to talk about the Western buyers who are being impacted. Because this is not just about Chinese refiners saying no to hypothetical inquiries. This is about real companies, real supply contracts, and real disruptions that are happening right now. After completing the 30 refiner calls, I reached out to contacts at 5 Western industrial companies that I know have historically sourced refined silver from China. I cannot name these companies for legal and confidentiality reasons, but I can tell you that they include an electronics manufacturer, a solar panel producer, an automotive component supplier, a medical device company, and a specialty chemicals manufacturer. I asked each of them a simple question: have you received any communications from your Chinese silver suppliers regarding the new export controls? And if so, what have they said? 3 out of 5 confirmed that they have received notices from their Chinese suppliers in the past 48 hours, specifically citing the January 1st export licensing requirements and indicating that they cannot fulfill upcoming orders. Let me share what they told me. The electronics manufacturer told me, we have a quarterly purchase agreement with a refiner in Guangdong for 180,000 ounces. We submitted our Q1 2026 order on December 27th. On January 1st, we received an email from the refiner stating that they do not qualify for the new export license and that they cannot fulfill our order. The email said, due to new Chinese government export licensing requirements effective January 1st, 2026, our company does not meet the minimum production capacity threshold established by the Ministry of Commerce. We are unable to export refined silver. Your Q1 order is hereby canceled. We apologize for the inconvenience and recommend you seek alternative suppliers outside of China. We have now contacted 3 other Chinese refiners as backups. All 3 have sent us similar responses. We are scrambling to source from U.S. dealers, and the delivery times are 18 to 24 weeks. The solar panel producer told me, we have sourced high-purity solar-grade silver from a specialized refiner in Jiangxi for 10 years annual contract for 2.4 million ounces. On December 30th, we received official notice that their export license application was denied by the ministry because their facility's annual production capacity of 62 metric tons does not meet the 80-ton minimum threshold. The contract is terminated effective immediately. No future shipments will be made. We have 6 months of inventory. After that, our production lines stop unless we find a replacement supplier. We have contacted Australian and Canadian refiners. Production is contracted through 2027. We are looking at reducing our 2026 panel production by 60 to 70%. The automotive component supplier told me, our supplier is one of the larger refiners that did obtain an export license, but we were told that every shipment now requires Ministry of Commerce approval on a case-by-case basis. We submitted a request on December 28th for 450,000 ounces for February delivery. On January 1st, the request was denied. No explanation, no appeal process. The refiner told us that approvals are being prioritized for Chinese domestic manufacturers and strategic partners. We are a foreign buyer, so we are at the bottom of the priority list. We have to find other sources, but everything is sold out or backordered. These are not theoretical impacts. These are real companies with real supply chain disruptions happening right now today on January 1st, 2026. And based on the pattern of responses from 30 refiners and confirmations from 3 Western buyers, it is clear that this is not isolated. This is systematic. The export ban is real.
And well, overall, what's is the Gorka saying that well, I asked in my prompt to rate it for validity and for significance. So, but the Grok doesn't agree with his statement that is like, you know, he kind of downplayed the validity, because he's saying basically it's not outright ban, but it's a restriction and more control about the exports. So we don't know right now how it's going to be played out. It looks more like a ban for if what he's saying in this video is true. In my prompt, how is going to be resolved in the short term. So what's the resolution will be for, let's say, the example of this solar manufacturer that has an order of over 2 million ounces for the next year. So he gives the 3 scenarios with the probability. I asked the probability in my prompt. So he said that the 50% the impact will be like up to 20% reduction of the exports. Okay, which on the short term there is not very high impact on the price. So it's very, like, you know, but you have to understand that's the Grok is usually very conservative in his estimates. So the second moderate this distortion, which could result up to 50%. Of the restriction for 400 million ounces that the China refines for the next year, he gives a 30% probability that will be happening. And in this case, the short-term impact projection kind of, like, you know, very like large increase for January, because this is for the end of January price projection. So 75 up to $85 with the premiums, like it looks like from the conversation from the video. But the Grok for some reason gives this only 20% chance. We could see $85 plus price by the end of January, and 15 to 20 dollars premiums. If I would be in place of the government, I will be trying to divert demand from silver to something else. So the demand will be diverted to gold, in my opinion. And I will be prioritizing the recycling in the short term. See how to speeding up the recycling. That's the short-term solution. So the jewelry will go to the last in the list. I don't know legally how to do that, because I cannot say, okay, if you are buying the silver for jewelry, you have to pay higher prices, and we're going to have this specific VIP source, where is the our prior industry, solar, AG5 infrastructure, and car manufacturers, electric car manufacturers could buy silver. It's going to be only for them. But everybody else, investors and the silver jewelry, they will have another location. Investment demand I will be directing to the gold, because I don't know how, but will be most easier way is to lower the ratio, gold and silver ratio. So eventually the silver stackers, they will become the gold stackers, and they will be trading their silver for gold, and this will ease the demand for silver, and there will be more investment silver coming into the market. But of course it implies much higher prices for silver. So that's how I see it's going to play out. That's going to be it for this video, and please like the video to support my work. Thank you very much for watching, and Happy New Year.